Hello and welcome to Inside Sports. I'm Wes Decker, just coming out of my tryptophan coma. Hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And over the holiday, I ran into a couple who exclaimed almost in unison, "Wes Decker, we love the show." And before I could even get that out of my mouth to thank them, the gentleman asks, "What happened to the Biebs? You're not talking about them anymore." Really? A 40-some-year-old guy worried about Justin Bieber? Really? I mean, how silly is that? Honestly, the Biebs has gone way off the grid, and we're just not interested in promoting that downward spiral. But, you know, I had such high hopes for him. Unfortunately, now they've been dashed. But it got me to thinking, JB isn't the only bad call I've ever made. There was this time back in 1998 when I wanted the Colts to draft Ryan Leaf over some guy named Peyton Manning. Of course, 15 years earlier, the Colts had made the right call and had chosen John Elway number 1, but the ungrateful buck-toothed son of a... I'm sorry. I shouldn't have started down that road. It's okay, though. Elway only won 2 Super Bowls with the Broncos, while the guy the Colts traded him for, offensive tackle Chris Hinton, went to 7 Pro Bowls. Hey, who's laughing now? As for Ryan Leaf, addressing his Christmas cards to the Montana State Pen. Yep, still a bad call. And that's precisely why I make none on this week's show. Instead, I defer to 6 county coaches who tell you about their respective team's potential for 2013-14 success. This is part 1 of our 2-part Inside Sports preview for the winter sports season. And today, wrestling, Washington County Northstars Hockey, and we start with girls basketball right after this.
Behind every great child, there is a great foundation. Premier Martial Arts will empower your child and give them a premier foundation to success. Our instructors have the passion to teach classes designed to build premier skills. Your child will develop greater self-control, confidence, and concentration. Premier Martial Arts will take your child up the path of greatness. Call Premier Martial Arts today.
What's bigger than a baker's dozen and a lot more exciting? Antietam Cable's Sports Plus, 18 extra sports channels, MLB Network, Golf Channel, ESPNU, ESPN News, Big Ten Network, Outdoor Channel, World Fishing Network, Horse Racing TV, Fox College Sports, NFL Network, NFL Red Zone, every touchdown from every game every Sunday during the regular season, and more. Antietam Cable Sports Plus, just $7.99 per month. If you already have a digital box, you can get Sports Plus activated instantly. Call now, 301-797-5000.
Honey, I just got the mail. We got 6 new bills today.
We don't have enough money.
Mommy, will we still get to live in our house?
It may be time to consider bankruptcy. Call Bodie Law. Do it for yourself. Do it for your family.
Injured on the job? Been denied compensation? Need money for medical bills and lost wages? Know your rights. Insurance companies have lawyers, and so should you. Protect yourself. Call Bodie Law, your Hagerstown legal team, for help at 888-823-1255. It's what we do for you that counts.
Welcome back to the show. Our winter sports previews tip off with girls basketball. And last season, it was the South Hagerstown Rebels who cut a path of destruction through the county and the Antietam Conference. South compiled a perfect 14-0 conference mark and went 21-3 overall en route to the number 2 seed in the 3A West region. The Rebels ripped off 2 playoff victories there before their year ended in the region championship game at top-seeded Damascus. According to reigning Inside Sports Coach of the Year Nate Naylor, that unceremonious finish to last season has his team more than ready to get this one started.
I think this year's team has a focus that I haven't seen before. They come in every day to practice. They're working really hard. We had a really good off season. So I think we have to continue to practice that well and work that hard on a daily basis to be successful this season.
Everybody I've talked to about girls basketball this season says South Hagerstown, South Hagerstown, South Hagerstown. Is that pressure for your team, or how do you approach that? What kind of a challenge does that present?
A lot of people I talk to say the same thing, that we should be really good. Hopefully we can be as good as everybody thinks we're going to be. But I tell them every day, it is pressure for us to come out and perform every day, and we have to perform at a high level. But I honestly feel like this team is ready to accept that challenge. They're focused, like I said earlier. They're focused. They're playing with a different level of intensity and practice that I've seen from them. They know what the goal is.
And what are you saying to them in terms of what your expectations are of them as a team?
Our expectation is definitely to win the 3A West this year, get to the states, and hopefully win a state championship. We got a taste of the regional finals last year playing against Damascus and getting to that point. We know what it felt like to lose that game. And we came back this offseason. They were in the weight room 3 times a week. They were working out 3 times a week. They was doing everything this offseason that was asked of them. So I think that they've worked to get to that point. So expectations for them is to win the 3A West and get to the states.
And do you look at that at all, that in the county haven't had a girls state champion in so long? Do you think about what that could mean for the South Hagerstown basketball program to be the next one to break through potentially?
That's one thing we actually talked about it once. We talked about that it's been a very long time since there's been a state championship won in basketball, in this area. So, that's something that they know that they have they have an opportunity to be able to do that. If they continue to work hard, and we tell them the importance of every practice, every minute that we're in practice, we have to give it everything we got if we want to reach that goal.
And the last girls team from the county to bring home a state title was Williamsport back in 1992. Naylor's team is sitting on ready, though, returning the Big Three, consisting of Inside Sports Player of the Year Catrice Dixon, the county's second leading scorer a year ago, Tay Stewart, and Chelsea Scott, each first-team All-County and All-Conference returnees, joined this year by All-Antietam second-teamer Melanie Yeomans, a transfer from Brunswick. With Coach Naylor being able to put those 4 seniors on the floor every night, it's no wonder South is thinking big prize. While the Experience Cup runneth over for the Rebels, it contains barely a drop for the county's and conference's second-best team a year ago. While graduation subtracted Boonesboro's leading scorer, rebounder, and shot blocker Shannon O'Brien and top three-point threat Kristen Davis from his mix. Coming off a 15-9, 10-4 season, Coach Sam Connolly's newest version of the Warriors is all about new faces.
We have a team of 6 sophomores and 4 juniors. I think the rate at which we learn to play at a varsity level basketball speed will be what shows our most improvement through the course of the year. This is a group of kids that they play a lot, they work hard, they're very coachable, but they're very young. And the rate at which they learn our system and pick things up through the course of the year will show our improvement.
What do you like about this group in terms of what you've seen so far?
I like our unselfishness. I like how unselfish of a group they are, both on and off the floor. I like their ability to pick things up. Now granted, we got a long way to go, but they do learn quickly, and they don't repeat the same mistakes very often, which is very exciting, because a lot of times you get some kids that will hit a wall and won't go forward any further, and that's what you have to work with for a few months, and then maybe they break through. But this group just continues to get better and better every practice.
What's one thing you can't do as a team?
I think we can't get in foul trouble. I think our depth is still learning, and at the beginning of the season we're not going to be as deep as we will be later. I think Claudia Jenkins is our returning senior, Claudia and Jordy Bingaman, and Morgan Angle, our point guard. Those 3 players got to stay on the floor for us to be successful, at least early, especially early, while the rest of the younger kids catch up. The challenge for this team is coming to practice and working hard every single day. When you have 6 sophomores on a varsity basketball team, at first I think they're just happy to be there, and they're just feeling accomplished by making the team. And the thing is that they have to understand that they made it. Now the work starts. They didn't work. They worked all fall, all summer, all spring, worked hard to get there. And I think for some of them, a lot of them felt like their goals were achieved. And I want to see them push beyond that and make this a successful season for them. I think we have all the ingredients to have a very good year. I think we have all the pieces in place. I feel like this will be a team that, more so in previous years, improves the most from day one till the end of the season for me. And I'm not even sure what their ceiling is, where we're at now. So.
The aforementioned Jenkins is a solid cornerstone for Connolly. The senior was 3rd on the team in scoring, 2nd in made threes, and led the Warriors in assists and steals per game last season. The learning curve will need to be swift for Boonesboro, the only county team besides South to notch a playoff win last season as it moves up in classification to the 2A ranks this season, where it joins Williamsport. The Wildcats are making a transition of their own as it relates to their head coach. After 9 years, Chris Malott has stepped down and Kevin Murphy has stepped up. So how will things change for a team that went 13-10 overall and 8-6 in the conference a year ago?
Taking over for Chris, he did a great job in the last several years of preparing these kids and getting them to a point where the program is moving forward, moving upward and onward. So changing over is going to be pretty easy because I've known these kids for a long time. The biggest difference is, when you're taking over a program, there's a lot of different things you have to take on that are external factors you don't realize that are like, oh my goodness, I got to deal with this and this and that. But as far as the coaching standpoint goes, nothing's really changed much, I don't think. The group is a good, solid group. We're young. We're very young. We could start a freshman and a couple sophomores the first game, maybe even 3 sophomores. So I think as we get going on to the year, I think we're going to be much better than what you see in December. You're going to see a much better product in February.
Yeah, what's the key to success for this team this year as you see it right now?
Well, we turned the ball over way too much last year. We didn't take care of the basketball at all, and it's to the point where we're charting turnovers every day in practice, even in drills. And we chart it for the simple fact is we're trying to get in their heads and make sure they understand taking care of the basketball is the most important thing, and we can't turn it over like we did last year. If we turn it over like that, we're not going to win too many games. So that's the biggest thing. And the second thing is we have to have some of these young kids step up. Some of these young kids have got to take on bigger roles, and as the season progresses, I think they will.
What are you most interested to see with this team as the season goes along, aside from them getting better? I mean, is there something beyond that?
No, I think that the most important thing is are they working hard? And the great thing about this group so far is it's been tremendous to work with them. I got a great group of kids that listen and work hard. Their work ethic is awesome. Our first scrimmage against Musselman the other night, they played extremely hard. We didn't execute real well. We turned the ball over. So again, those are the things that if we can do those things, because I know we're going to play hard, then we'll improve as the year goes on.
How about the schedule? Because you certainly don't get any breaks the way the season begins, and you talk about getting better as the season goes, but man, it's a rough start.
Yeah, the schedule's real tough. We got 11 road games, 9 home games, and with the first 3 are going at Oakdale, at Middletown, Walkersville. It's the toughest. I've been in the program 9 years. This is my 10th year, first as a head coach, and I've never seen the first 3 games like this. So my job is going to get those young kids to prepare and say, hey, let's just keep playing better and better. If we lose, hey, it's not the end of the world. We got 17 more to go, and we'll take it. And hopefully by February we can play with those teams that we lose to, if we lose them early in the year. But I'm not going to those games saying, hey, we're losing. We're not taking that approach.
Patience seems to be the operative word, and it's already being practiced at Williamsport. Starting point guard Aaron Palmer missed all of the preseason while rehabbing from a nasty ankle injury. Having her experience on the court is vital for a team short on senior leadership. Speaking of seniors, North Hagerstown returns 2 of the best. Cindy Miller has the services of both the county's leading scorer, Crystal McLeod, and her 16.1 points per game, along with the county's leading rebounder, Kayla Peterson, who averaged 12.3 per contest for an 8-13 hub team a season ago. Coming off a 7-15 campaign, Smithsburg gets a new head coach in Chuck Witt, but loses second-team all-conference forward Beverly Kuhn to St. Maria Goretti. Kuhn averaged a double-double last season and has already won the Lions Classic MVP award in leading the Gales to the tournament championship this season. She and Sydney Clayton have started strong for new head coach Sheldon Henry, who is nearly a third of the way to Goretti's 2012-13 win total of 7. Clear Spring won just 6 times last year, but bringing back second-team all-conference point guard Isabel Forsman and the county's second leading rebounder Sam Staley provide plenty of optimism for head coach Bill McIntyre. And Hancock head coach Todd Rupenthal crafted a stellar 15-8 mark a year ago, but looks to be in for some growing pains this year, working with a very young Panthers squad. Experience. This holiday season, it would seem to be the #1 item on most county coaches' wish lists. Well, we can check girls hoops off our list. 1 look ahead down, 2 more to come. Next up, we roll out the mats for the Inside Sports Wrestling preview right after this. Boxes are good for a number of things, but not as your flooring store.
Excuse me, where can I find your ceramic tile expert?
Ceramic tile expert? You're looking at him.
But aren't you the...
Ceramic tile expert.
At Carpet Gallery, flooring isn't just one of the things we do, it's the only thing we do. And when they say free, we say, really? Here, you'll meet with flooring and ceramic tile experts with over 70 years of experience, and that's for real, and that's real value. Trust Carpet Gallery for all your flooring needs and think outside the box. Antietam Cable is pleased to announce another exciting innovation, Antietam To Go. Antietam To Go lets you watch TV shows on your computer or portable device, laptop, tablet, smartphone. Watch what you want, when you want, where you want from the most popular networks on television. Power Antietam To Go with Antietam high-speed internet for the perfect entertainment combo. Just visit myactv.net/Antietam To Go to get started. It's TV your way with Antietam To Go, free with your TV subscription. Thank you for being an Antietam Cable customer. Welcome back to Inside Sports. In no other sport does winning the county title seem to be held in such high regard as in wrestling. In the 23-year history of the county tourney, Williamsport and North Hagerstown have finished 1-2 in one order or the other. While this might sound like the setup to the tournament itself, it is and it isn't. With the season just set to commence, the county tourney is 2.5 months away. But to my point, there isn't much more than time and space separating another potential Wildcat Hub showdown. Williamsport won the Clyde Downs Trophy for the 4th time in the last 5 years last February, a record 10th county championship for the Cats. Williamsport produced 6 individual county titleists, 2 region champions, and a state champion a year ago. And reigning and defending Inside Sports Coach of the Year Mike Rektorovic doesn't plan on messing with success this year.
Pretty much every year we want to win our conference, want to go undefeated in the county, win the county tournament, get a number of guys to the regionals, get a number of guys to place, and get a couple state placers. Usually pretty much the same. I usually let the team, we haven't done it yet, but they'll come up with their team goals on what place we want to take in each tournament and that, and what they think they can do.
And the measuring stick events come early and often.
Each season it's almost like the season's like broken into quarters of tournaments, like the Damascus tournament, the Rebel duels, and the Hub Cup tournament, the 3 tournaments that we go to. I'm always interested in how well we do there because we see a lot of guys we're not going to see from bigger schools and from private schools and from out of state and stuff. A lot of guys that we won't see how our guys compete in the tournament aspect of it. The duels, we always have, that tri-meet with North and Middletown is always a great tri-meet, and this year it might be the toughest since I've been here because Middletown's really tough this year, North's really tough, and I think we're going to be pretty decent as well. So that tri-meet this year could be a real barn burner. Each of those 3 matches could come down to the wire, all 3 of them.
What do you like about this team?
We're pretty solid. We don't have a lot of weak spots in our lineup where we have 2 or 3 weight classes with guys who are inexperienced. We got a lot of guys returning who were in the varsity lineup last year. I think 11 of our 14 starters from the lineup last year are back. So we got a lot of experience coming back, guys who've been through this schedule and been through these tournaments and that. So it shouldn't be anything new to them.
As for the rest of the county, the coaches got it.
North's going to be real tough this year. Not only do they have a lot of good returning wrestlers, they got 2 transfers that will help their lineup a bunch. One from South High, one from Pennsylvania, and that will help their lineup a bunch. But they're going to be tough without them. They have a bunch of tough returning wrestlers and guys who were chomping at the bit, who've been JV behind some of these better guys who graduated for years waiting on this opportunity. So they're going to be real tough to beat. Boonesboro's always got 1 or 2 guys who will be ready to go. Same with Smithsburg this year. Smithsburg, I think, returns 1 county champ, another county finalist, a couple county finalists they return actually, and a county champ. So they'll have some guys that'll play a part in the county tournament at the end of the year. And South has a whole new coaching staff. So I'm kind of interested to see what that brings because they got a whole new regime going on over there. So. I don't know, they might have more guys out. It might be a different set of things going on at South High this year, which I'm interested to see.
We'll all be very interested in how it all plays out. Coach Reck returns the county's lone region champ, junior Austin Keedle, along with 3 other state qualifiers. As for the county, last year all 5 schools had wrestlers walk away as county champs. Williamsport led the way with 6 and North had 5. Now, speaking of the Hubs, they return 4 of theirs. Beyond the county, the Hubs have the only 2 returning state qualifiers from a year ago who didn't leave College Park with a losing record there. Senior Gene Balsita is back, and sophomore Isaiah Brooks transferred from South. Both were 2-2 at states. Coach Greg Slick begins his 34th year at North with work to do, but big numbers with which to work.
The kids are working pretty hard. We like the way that they're trying to focus on the technique. Conditioning seems to be at a decent level right now for early in the season. But the thing that we like the most is the number of kids that we have out. It's going to create some real good competition in the practice room.
What's your biggest challenge as a coach with the guys that you have with this particular team?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, it's confidence. Try to get these new guys to believe in their ability, to try to get the veteran guys to buy into the idea that they can wrestle and compete with anybody.
Clearly, there's no magic formula for instilling confidence, but Slick isn't afraid to attempt a between-the-headgear injection approach with this shy group.
Wes, I think confidence comes with the experience that they're going to get on the mat. Obviously, confidence comes with success. You can't get a lot of confidence if you don't win. But you know, we feel like we do an awful lot to train them physically, and we want to try to train them a little bit more mentally. We want to try to get that, that positive mental attitude that's so important for any athlete to be able to be successful.
What are you looking most forward to finding out about this team as the season unfolds?
Well, we always kind of like to say that it doesn't matter where you start, it matters where you finish up. So obviously everything that we do kind of focuses towards that last couple of weeks in February with the county tournament, regional tournament, and then the first week in March for the state tournament. So, there's a lot of important matches between now and then. We feel like we have a pretty tough December with Winners Mill, three-time defending state champion, a dual meet down at their place, and then also the big tri-meet with Middletown and Williamsport. Both MVAL foes, and both pretty important for our schedule and for the success of the team this year.
Last year, obviously, Brendan Colbert was one of the guys that was looked at as being one of the top-notch wrestlers, not only at North Hagerstown, but in the entire county. The season didn't exactly end the way that he wanted it to. What do you notice about him this year, or how has he adjusted and picked up from where last season left off?
Wes, obviously last year was a big disappointment for Brendan and for us as a team. The kid's heart was broken when he didn't make weight at the regional tournament. However, I'm going to tell you that he didn't miss a beat. He showed up on Saturday morning with the idea that he was going to go back to the regional tournament and support his teammates. He came the next week and worked out with the guys that qualified for states. That Brendan qualified and participated in a national tournament in Virginia Beach in the spring. He wrestled at camp this summer. He went to the Super 32. So he hasn't changed much about his approach to this season, except that I think he's got a little bit more fire and a little bit more hunger.
No doubt the three-time county champ's appetite for state gold has turned ravenous, what with this being his final shot. Colbert has won an incredible 106 matches in the last 3 years while losing just 5. Unfortunately, 2 of those defeats came in state championship finals as a freshman and as a sophomore. On the bittersweet topic of state runner-up, he and his hockey team came this close to winning it all just last year. Head coach Jamie Blackwood of the Washington County Northstars joins me to talk about the season ahead next. What's bigger than a baker's dozen and a lot more exciting? Antietam Cable's Sports Plus, 18 extra sports channels, MLB Network, Golf Channel, ESPNU, ESPN News, Big Ten Network, Outdoor Channel, World Fishing Network, Horse Racing TV, Fox College Sports, NFL Network, NFL Red Zone, every touchdown from every game every Sunday during the regular season, and more. Antietam Cable Sports Plus, just $7.99 per month. If you already have a digital box, you can get Sports Plus activated instantly. Call now, 301-797-5000. Antietam Cable is pleased to announce another exciting innovation, Antietam To Go. Antietam To Go lets you watch TV shows on your computer or portable device, laptop, tablet, smartphone. Watch what you want, when you want, where you want from the most popular networks on television. Power Antietam To Go with Antietam high-speed internet for the perfect entertainment combo. Just visit myactv.net/Antietam To Go to get started. It's TV your way with Antietam To Go, free with your TV subscription. Thank you for being an Antietam Cable customer. Welcome back to Inside Sports. Our winter sports previews continue now, and I'm joined by Washington County Northstars head coach Jamie Blackwood. Coach, welcome back to the show as you embark on this brand new season, actually underway at this point, 4 games in right now. Tell me a little bit about the way that you might characterize this season for the Northstars.
I'd characterize this season as a developmental season. We have a lot of new young players, several players returning are seniors this year, so they're or juniors on their way out. But we lacking in the depth that we've had in the experience. So we're skating a lot of lesser experienced skaters this year.
Yeah, coming off a state championship game a year ago, one of the most exciting games that I've ever seen in high school hockey, one that went to overtime. Unfortunately, came up on the short end of that one, but a long way from last year to where this year begins. Now, you get your top 2 leading scorers back. You have your goalie back this year. But as you said, that supporting cast a little thin right now. How do you anticipate this season playing out in terms of what you've seen so far developmentally with those players?
I think we're going to be short in some areas. We got a long ways to go as far as the growth of offensive push and scoring ability. It's a big difference at the level that they're playing at club and things, and stepping up and playing against kids that are 3 and 4 years older than they are, and playing that physical presence in front of the net and developing that harder shot and getting it off in the speed of the game. I think also one of the big differences we're going to see is in our defense. You know, I have one experienced defenseman with each pair, and then an inexperienced or smaller, younger defenseman, and they're going to make a lot of key mistakes just through lack of experience, and we're going to give Jeremy is going to have to stand tall in goal, and you know, he's going to get a lot of extra shots where he wouldn't have gotten those shots on him in the years past, because we're not going to be able to get the puck out of the zone quite as easy.
Yeah, since the Northstars organization came into being back in 2007-08, a .762 win percentage. So clearly, along the way here, you know, playing at the top has been the Northstars' forte. And even in seasons where, you know, things haven't gone well during the course of the season, you've been able to finish up strong during the course of the year. So from a coaching standpoint, how do you look at this season in terms of what you need to do?
Oh gosh, it's very frustrating on our part, because basically all we can do is teach the fundamentals of hockey and what we want them to do, and get some basic system understanding of the kids. But we've had some injuries already this year. We've had a knee injury with one player. We've had some other issues that have taken some kids away from us for a while and brought them back to us. But so it's difficult, and then getting them all to be able to operate at the same level which we're asking them to do. We pulled a young player up into the first or second line role, Seth Garber, freshman up there, but we're asking him to be able to skate with Josh and Travis and be able to operate on the same wavelength as they are, and to understand where they're going, and that non-spoken language that they've been able to develop through the years. Get him to operate at that speed is difficult. And then you take in the physical aspect of the pounding of the checking and stuff. It's a little harder and a little faster, and the game is just different. There's a different set of rules, and it takes a while for the kids to adjust to that. And from our point, it's just to adjust our game down to, you know, set expectations that are achievable by the team and by the players, and just live with those. You know, it's hard coming back with the great success we've had to say a mediocre year, 500 is a win season for us. But, you know, you really have to put it all in perspective, and that's the hardest thing to not get drawn into, you know, always understanding that we should be in the top of the heap, and, you know, expectations of finishing on top, or it's a wasted season. So it's just learning to adapt to what we have.
What are you most looking forward to seeing from this team as the season goes along?
I think I'm looking forward most to the success of some of the younger players and the development of some of the new players that we have, and how they fit in their progress, and them fitting into the team aspect of it. And then, of course, for Jeremy to grow as a goalie, you know, he's going to have a young team again next year that he'll be in front of as a senior. But, you know, with the leadership of the two captains, and some of the younger kids' talent starting to step forward, and as things gel, maybe some of the other kids will grasp into the system a little bit faster. Again, it's easier when they have success than when they don't.
Yeah, that builds a lot of confidence.
Sure.
Coach, thank you very much for being here. Best of luck throughout the course of the season.
Great, thanks, Wes.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you, too. I'll be back next week with part 2 of the Winter Sports Preview. Next week, it's boys basketball and indoor track and field. Until then, I'll see you on the inside.
Hey, your sisters and your brothers, your haters and your lovers, you gotta get up in the streets. Hey, don't complain to mother, they hiding under color, you gotta get up on your feet.